And so what I'm about to reveal to you guys here actually comes from Wikipedia. So this is not a conservatively bent a website, by the way. I just want to throw in that disclaimer here. But this is what they're saying about Nelson Mandela. And this is a brief overview of the man here. And they write that very conscious. Now, tell me if this sounds like somebody you might know from the news today. Very conscious of his image throughout his life, he sought fine quality clothes, carrying himself in a regal style, stemming from his childhood in the Tembu royal house. And during his presidency, he was often compared to a constitutional monarch. In other words, a king, right?
Right.
Considered a master of imagery and performance, he excelled at presenting himself in the press, photographs, and producing sound bites. In late 1996, Mandela was asked by friends if he was religious. Mandela explained that he is a Methodist, but he felt at ease in any house of prayer. That is the definition of a syncretist, not a Christian.
Right.
And a syncretist is exactly what Barack Obama is. He is a syncretist.
Yep.
We've documented this. Barack Obama is not Christian, Muslim. I mean, he is a syncretist. We've documented this. Let's move on here. This gets really fascinating here, folks. Mandela was an African nationalist, an ideological position he held since joining the ANC, also being a Democrat and a socialist. Although he presented himself as an autocratic manner. Now, what does autocratic mean? Let's go to the dictionary and find out what an autocracy is. An autocracy is a system of government in which a supreme power is concentrated in the hands of one person, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that sound like? That sounds like the ruler of America, doesn't it?
It sounds like what he's trying to do. Yep.
It does. I mean, he does the presidential decrees to get his own way, does he not? And although he presented, Nelson Mandela believed in autocracy. That's what he believed in. Mandela was driven by a belief in natural and human rights. This belief drove him not only to pursue, among other things, gay rights as part of his post-apartheid reforms. He pursued that, just as Obama is doing. A democratic socialist, Mandela was openly opposed to capitalism, private land. No, he's opposed to capitalism, private land ownership, and the power of big money. He's opposed to all of those things.
Yeah, unless he has the land or he has the money, of course.
Exactly. Influenced by Marxism, during the revolution, Mandela advocated scientific socialism. According to biographer David James Smith, Mandela embraced communism and communists in the late 50s and 60s, though was a fellow traveler rather than a party member. We're almost done here. In 55 Freedom Charter, which Mandela helped create, it called for a nationalization of banks, gold mines, and land. So he advocated a complete takeover of everyone's property by the government, by the state.
You mean he wanted to spread the wealth?
Well, now you may have read my notes here, because he believed it necessary to ensure equal distribution of wealth.
Yeah.
Despite these beliefs, now here's where it gets tricky, folks. And here's where Margaret Thatcher comes in. Because despite these beliefs, Mandela nationalized nothing during his presidency. He was just a titular head. What Nelson Mandela did was he hijacked the anti-apartheid movement to get into power and to try and spread his socialist agenda. He was a communist who hijacked apartheid to get his communist agenda through. Just like Barack Obama has hijacked the need to reform healthcare in America, he hijacked all of these social woes of America to get his own agenda through. This is what he's doing to America. This is what Nelson Mandela tried to do to South Africa, but guess who stopped him?
Who?
Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher stopped him in his tracks. Guess what, folks? Listen to this. Despite his beliefs, Mandela nationalized nothing during his presidency, fearing that this would scare away foreign investors. This decision was in part influenced by the fall of the socialist states of the Soviet Union and Eastern Bloc during the early 90s. Well, guess who shut down the Soviet Union and USSR during the 90s? Who did that?
Yeah,
that was Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, but you said it the other way. Exactly. That's who shut it down.
Well, the reason I said Margaret Thatcher first is because Margaret Thatcher died in 2013 as well and got a complete snub from the Obama regime, and they never even acknowledged it.
Yeah, there were no flags flying half-mast for her.
because she shut down the Nelson Mandela communist agenda to get communism full-blown in South Africa.
Right.
That's what happened there. That is real history, folks. Right down in a nutshell. Nelson Mandela was no saint.
Right. And Obama venerates Mandela.